I wake on November 24, 1801, to the sound of mother humming in the kitchen below. For a moment, I lie perfectly still, afraid to move, afraid to breathe, afraid that any sudden motion might shatter this fragile miracle. I'm alive. The date that has haunted me for 4 years has passed, and I'm still here. Sunlight streams through my bedroom window, and somewhere in the distance, I can hear the sounds of New York waking up, cartwheels on cobblestones, vendors calling their wares, the ordinary symphony of a life continuing. A soft knock on my door interrupts my wonder. Philip? Father's voice, cautious but warm. May I come in? Of course. He enters, already dressed for the day, but moving with an uncertainty I've never seen in him before. We look at each other across the small room, two men who have just lived through the impossible. How do you feel? He asks finally. Grateful, terrified, hopeful. I sit up in bed. Different. Different how? In my other life, I spent November 24th dying. Every breath was agony, and I knew each one might be my last. This morning, breathing feels like a gift. Father sits heavily in the chair beside my bed. I hardly slept. I kept expecting. He trails off. Expecting what? I don't know. A messenger with terrible news. A knock at the door from Eaker's seconds. Some sign that fate wouldn't be denied so easily. And instead? Instead, your mother is making breakfast. Angelica is practicing her French, and Alexander Jr. is building a fort out of books in the library. Life is continuing as if yesterday wasn't the day my son was supposed to die. We sit in comfortable silence for a moment, both of us adjusting to this new reality. Then Father speaks again. There's something I need to tell you, Philip. About last night. My stomach tightens. What happened? Richard Price came by after you'd gone to bed. He said Eaker waited at France's tavern until nearly midnight, growing more agitated by the hour. When neither of us appeared, Father pauses. He declared the Hamilton family cowards and said our failure to respond proved everything he'd been saying about our lost influence. The words sting, but not as much as I expected. And the men who heard him grew increasingly uncomfortable with his display. According to Richard, even Eaker's own companions seemed embarrassed by his behavior. By the end of the evening, people weren't talking about Hamilton cowardice, they were talking about Eaker's poor sportsmanship and ungentlemanly conduct. I blink in surprise. Really? It seems that publicly challenging a 19-year-old to a duel, then ranting about it when he refuses, doesn't reflect well on a